college football. You've seen the new playoff poll.
Yeah.
Who are your 4 teams? And I won't ask you 1 to 4. Just give me the 4 teams, because I don't think it matters. If you're in the top 4, you are. That's all that matters. And it doesn't matter now, but sitting here today on November whatever we are.
Okay, I got to say this. As you well know, I'm from South Bend, Indiana.
And they're in the top 4 now.
And they're in the top 4. I think they are one of the 4 best teams. Notre Dame is. But my top 4 would not include Notre Dame. I would put Baylor in there as an undefeated team from the Big 12.
I can't. Baylor's hadn't played anybody.
They have not played anybody.
It's the same stuff. We're going to find out about Baylor. We're beginning to find out their young quarterback is good. He's not great. He's inexperienced. And we'll find out about Notre Dame. They're playing Stanford.
Right.
And I think
they have to play on the road against Stanford.
I think every game is because they don't play in a conference. In basketball they do. But every game is the playoff game for Notre Dame.
They have to run the table.
Yeah. So if they lose to Stanford, they're out.
Yes.
If Stanford wins that game and wins the Pac-12, they belong. They're still in my top 4 because I like them week after week. I love Shaw and what McCaffrey's doing and what that quarterback does. I like that quarterback. I think they are a
Hogan.
They are a tough team.
They are a tough team. Okay, here's garbage I've heard this week. That the committee has east of the Mississippi bias, that they like Midwest teams and SEC teams that play rock'em sock'em football like Notre Dame and Alabama does, and that they're against the Big 12 because they're more like the old wacky whack and they score a lot of points. And the guys on the committee are so old that they don't see the high-scoring Stanford team. This is a fact, and I looked it up today. The crazy high-scoring Stanford team, which is the best team in the Pac-12, and Notre Dame have both played 9 games. Notre Dame has scored 334 points. Stanford has scored 334 points in 9 games. They both beat USC by almost identical scores. It was basically 40-30. Notre Dame and Stanford are 2 very even teams. They play at Stanford, and whoever wins that game has an excellent chance of being in the playoff.
I would just say to you in response, I won't go down but the one area you said, I looked last week to see who was on the committee because I was curious because Pat Hayden dropped out. Archie Manning dropped out last year because of his surgery. Pat Hayden because of what's going on there and his fainting on the sidelines. So I was looking at the people, and they were ripping on the head of the committee was ripping on Texas Tech that everybody scored 70 against Texas Tech. The athletic director from Texas Tech is on the committee. He didn't feel very good about that. But there's not that bias. The Air Force Academy athletic director's on the committee. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I knew Barry Alvarez was on the committee.
Barry Alvarez is on there. I think it's a good mixture. I'll tell you a guy you'll know. Steve, that used to be the USA Today writer that covered college football.
Steve Weinberg?
He's on the committee.
Yes.
So there's a media representative, so they got that. Thank you for remembering, because he's a good guy. And he knew his college football. But I think there's a good enough representation around the league, around the committee, that doesn't need to have to justify how it's picking. I would say it's Alabama. Alabama beat LSU. LSU was out, number 2. Yeah. I like Alabama. I put Stanford in until Notre Dame beats Stanford. I like Stanford.
I have no qualm with that.
Yeah. Clemson. Clemson's there. Undefeated, beat Florida State. It was a close game, but Clemson
beat Notre Dame.
Is on a day. So that's my 3. And I will throw in, because I don't believe it, I'm going to throw in Florida. And see, people will laugh at that.
No,
but Florida beat Ole Miss, which beat Alabama. Florida has got an impressive resume of teams they beat.
I would say Florida is deserving except for one thing. If you have that much trouble beating that smelly orange sherbet Tennessee team, then how can you be in the top 4?
And Oklahoma State. Keep an eye on Oklahoma State. People are
they're
paying more attention.
My Tennessee dig.
Well, you're right. Tennessee. That doesn't matter. This segment.